Mornings have a rhythm. You can hear it, feel it. And at Quaker, we fuel it. With 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber in every bowl, helping you turn that rhythm into your soundtrack for a great day. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Running a small business means I wear lots of hats. When I put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn Hiring Pro to make it easy. LinkedIn Hiring Pro helps manage my hiring workflow, puts my job post in front of a unique network of professionals, and matches me with the best candidates for my business. I can also share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. No wonder most small businesses say they'd use LinkedIn Hiring Pro again. Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Last week, I downloaded an AI tool. It was built by a guy that calls himself an AI expert. It was a customer service tool designed specifically for guest interaction or customer interaction, as they call it. Not written for food service, but certainly could be adapted to food service. One of the reasons that I liked it so well is it mentioned a restaurant chain that you guys know I love talking about. So I downloaded it. It looked polished, it looked confident, it looked professional. And when I used it, realized that it was wrong in so many different ways that would have cost me money had I actually followed the advice, and certainly would have ruined my reputation if I recommended that skill for you guys to use. So today I want to talk about silent employees that you might have already hired without interviewing. And that's all that an AI skill is. It's a silent employee. Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am the Executive Director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Before I get into that story about the AI skill, I want to remind you guys we're going to be in Austin, Texas this year on August 4th and 5th, this year being 2026. I'm going to be a part of the Food Truck Owners Expo. You guys can attend one of my classes. I'm giving 3 of them. You can join me on the main expo floor in my National Street Food Vendors Association booth, and you can just hang out with us and have a great time. I'm actually going to be doing a pre-expo breakfast at Eggman ATX. They're about 3/4 of a mile away from the Palmer Event Center where the expo is being held. If you guys want to join me there, just head over to Eggman. It's in the Zilker Park. And you guys can have breakfast with us on Tuesday before the show starts at 9 o'clock. We'll be there from 7 to 8 in the morning. If you want to attend, go to ftoexpo.com, place your order for the tickets today. Put in the code NSFBA15 for a 15% discount. So now let's talk about those skills. It's happening a lot right now. Everybody and their brother is building these AI tools. Some of them call them skills, some of them call them custom GPTs, some of them call them prompts. Whatever you want to call them this week, and the name just does change, they're passing them around like grandma's recipe for chocolate chip cookies. Somebody hands you one and tells you it'll write your posts, or it'll answer your guests when they get on your website. It'll even answer the phone for you, or it'll coach you on your numbers, and you copy and paste it into your AI account, and off you go. I get the appeal. Believe me, I do. A good prompt, a good skill saves you a bunch of time. And you just don't have enough time in the day to do everything you need to do for your business anyway. So time-saving skills make sense. I use AI a lot. But here's the part that nobody that has something to sell is going to tell you. When you install one of these things, you're not getting a one-time answer. You're installing standing instructions that run every single time you wake that particular tool up. It writes in your name, it answers your guests in your name, it coaches you in your name. Feels personal, feels awesome. Think about what that actually is. That's that silent employee I alluded to earlier that's going to talk on behalf of your food truck, that's going to talk to you as if they were your official coach, and you didn't interview them, you didn't check out a single reference, and most of the time, you don't even read the job description that they say they can do for you. And that is a cook mindset. An operator does not hire that way. So let me tell you what these tools really are. It doesn't matter what it's called. For Claude, it's a skill. For OpenAI right now on ChatGPT, it could be a custom GPT. Could just be a prompt. They're all essentially the same thing. It's a set of written instructions you drop into the AI, and once it's there, it changes how the AI behaves for you going forward. And just like I said, it is a silent employee. A real employee who doesn't know an answer is going to hesitate. They're going to shrug. They might turn to another employee or somebody else and find information to help answer whatever task you've given them. But that AI skill doesn't do that. It just answers. It's smooth. It's confident. It feels like it's correct. And whether it knows the answer or not, you'll never know. That employee, that silent employee, doesn't get tired. They never break character. And it sounds like a dream employee for you, right up until you realize that a confident worker who is wrong is way more dangerous than an honest one who is slow to answer or admits, I don't know. Let me show you what happened when people trust confidence without checking it. And we're not even going to talk about food trucks. These were outfits that had attorneys and had way more money than any of us, and they turned to AI. Air Canada. Story about them. A man's grandmother passed away. He went on the airline's website and talked to the chatbot to ask about bereavement fares. And the chatbot told him, just book a full price ticket and apply the discount within 90 days after you travel. So he did that. And when he went to collect, the airline said, sorry, the bot was wrong. That's not our policy. The chatbot invented a policy to be able to answer the guy's question. So the guy sued. Air Canada actually argued that they were not responsible. The chatbot's its own thing. And the judge said, no, you're responsible as Air Canada because the customer using the chatbot assumes it knows what it's talking about. There's no difference in bad information whether it comes from the regular web page, an employee, or a chatbot. The company owns it, and Air Canada was ordered to pay. Then you had two attorneys who used ChatGPT to write a legal brief, and the AI made up fake court cases. It made up fake quotes. It made up fake citations for cases that never ever existed. And then the attorneys, thinking they were being smart, said, hey, AI, are these real cases? And ChatGPT said, absolutely. They're in the databases. So the attorneys filed it. The judge, being a diligent judge, wanted to verify the citations and couldn't find them. So he fined the attorneys, essentially for lying, $5,000 each. And that's on top of the hit to their reputation. Same lesson both times. The machine was sure, and it was wrong. The human who trusted it without checking is the one who had to pay up. Now here's the part that protects you, so listen really close. Most of these bad AI tools are not built by con men trying to scam you. They're built by people who don't know the subject matter well enough to know that, hey, this output's wrong. That's more dangerous because it doesn't feel like a scam. It feels like expertise said very, very confidently that is complete fiction. So that tool that I got handed, the one that I downloaded from the guy who is a guru of AI, he has a huge Facebook group that went from 0 to over 500,000 members in about 2 years. The guy teaches AI pretty much every freaking day. He writes about 100 AI-produced blogs every day, it seems. He uses the same cartoon pictures every post that he does, and it just gets old quick, but I still follow him because every once in a while he comes up with a nugget that's useful. So when I saw that he had a skill that would go into Claude that combined Chick-fil-A, which you guys know I talk about Chick-fil-A a whole bunch, and it combined Raving Fans, which is a book that I know very, very well. I actually teach a class on Raving Fans. I cite Chick-fil-A as the example for people to use as far as hospitality, as far as speed of service, as far as teamwork. I cite those two things all the time. So I was excited that he combined both of those into a skill. So I downloaded it, put it in Claude to see what it actually does. Because that's what you should do before you ever send it off to your followers, to your members, to the people that count on you to give good advice, is let's test it. So I did. Gave it a real simple task. You have a customer complaint. How do you handle it? But I did point out it was a food truck owner with a customer complaint. And the first thing it did was claim that Chick-fil-A runs a big dollar customer recovery budget just like the Ritz-Carlton. And I'm like, no, they don't. That's a completely different company with a different set of standards. Why is it being thrown into the mix where Chick-fil-A is the star and Raving Fans is what they're based on? Where does the Ritz-Carlton even come in at? Then it went on to say that a food truck is a different animal from Chick-fil-A, and that's when I lost it. Because no matter how you cut it, a quick service restaurant, and that's what Chick-fil-A is exactly what a food truck is, just on a bigger scale. You walk into a Chick-fil-A and you stand in line, you walk up to a cash register and you place an order. They send you out in the dining room. They may walk the food out to you. They may call out your name, but the food gets delivered to you after you place an order, just like on a food truck. Go to the drive-thru, you place an order. Several minutes later, you get food, just like a food truck. So calling it's a different animal shows that you have no clue what you're talking about, which means that it's looking at the Ritz-Carlton being a hotel chain. Well, yeah, that is different than a food truck, but that's not what this skill is about. The skill specifically mentioned Chick-fil-A and Raving Fans. So I took it apart and I asked AI, where is the mention of Disney, because it also mentioned Disney. It mentioned the Ritz-Carlton. Where are those references coming from? And you know what? This is where it goes from being a semi-helpful skill into this is a scam. Now, I'm calling it a scam because of the way it's written. It's written to be a sales funnel for his $197 a month membership. So you read the skill and it doesn't actually talk about that, but it's hard-coded. It is going to answer every single time with references to things that are not in the skill. It's going to mention Disney. It's going to mention the Ritz-Carlton. It's going to mention other companies to get the user to go, well, how do these apply? And then it responds with, well, if you join our membership for $197 a month, we'll explain all of the details. So a dude that's saying, I'm here to help you with this awesome skill is actually trying to sell you something. That's worse than a scammer. A scammer feels dirty and they go away as soon as they scam you. This is here. I'm going to give you a sales funnel. You inject it into your own AI, and then every time you talk to it, it's going to refer back to me and try to sell you something. That's a scam. That is somebody who is taking advantage of people. That's somebody who crammed together a couple of ideas to make it sound really official, very confident AI, but really it's a sales funnel. So how should you handle any skill? Before you install it, read what it's built to do. The instructions are there in plain writing. If you can't see them, there's your answer. Walk away. When a tool states a fact, ask yourself if this is something you can actually verify, or does it just sound impressive? A tool that name drops big brands and then gets the details wrong, that's actually worse than no tool at all. And that's because they're being written by people that don't have a freaking clue about the problem they think they're trying to solve, so they can sell something. And that brings us to the third thing to look for, the hidden sales pitch. That sales copy was buried inside for that $197 a month membership with built-in instructions telling the AI you cannot remove this sales pitch. The tool was not designed to work for me. It was designed to work for the guy who built it and had that $197 a month membership to sell. The fourth thing is never trust AI. Never trust AI on high-stakes stuff without verifying it. So permits and taxes and health department rules, food safety, contracts, financing, your bookkeeping, your food cost. AI will hand you a confident answer either way, and that confidence is free, but being wrong is not. It'll cost you a whole bunch of money. You could lose your health permit. You could find a problem with the IRS. You could find yourself being sued and losing because, it depended on AI. And here's the last test. Before it ever touches a guest, run a real question through it and read the whole answer like you're grading it, because you are. If it drifts on a test question that you can control, it's going to drift in front of somebody who's paying you money. AI is going to be a part of how you run your food truck. It's going to be more and more integrated into everything, from the POS system to the credit card processing to the folks that you're buying your supplies from. AI is going to be everywhere. It can either make you a sharper operator or it can make you look like an idiot. Don't depend on tools that other people build that end up becoming that silent employee without you interviewing that employee and interviewing them tough, not just, can you fog a mirror? Never put your name on something that's going to involve one of your guests without you being 100% sure that it's going to work correctly every single time. You can't just shrug your shoulders and go, AI did it. It could cost you hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Read it, check it, test it. Then, if you're satisfied with the outcome, trust it, but still verify what it produces. And you do it in that order. Confidence is easy. Correct is your job. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're enjoying everything that we do, I'd like you to do two things for me. Number one is like, subscribe, follow whatever your platform wants you to do for the podcast so you know whenever I upload a new episode. Second thing is go to nsfva.org and join today. $19 a month. All kinds of perks there. You get to talk to me twice on Tuesdays in group coaching. $19 a month to be able to talk to me. Essentially, could be 8 hours a month. There is no better deal for your success than that.